Hello, hello! What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am continuing my 31 days of horror movie reviews with The Exorcist. Yes, The Exorcist is a 1973 horror film. As you could tell, this is the extended director's cut. This is based on the novel with the same name, and the movie is directed by William Friedkin. Now, the plot is, at the very, very beginning, we meet this mom. This mother, Chris McNeil, who is just a normal mother. I mean, sure, she's an actress. You see her doing that, and some people wanting her autograph and whatnot. But at the end of the day, she's a mother. She's taking care of her daughter, Regan, who you see their relationship together, their interaction, their dynamic, and they seem like a normal, happy family. Sure, the father's not in the picture. He's God knows where, but she's doing the best she can to provide for her until seemingly one day, randomly, the daughter just starts acting weird. Not herself. She slowly just starts to turn into this crass, evil person, cursing to random people, becoming more violent, and the mother becomes desperate because nobody's really able to help her. No doctors, no psychiatrists, until she finally says, I'm going to get help from a pastor. A pastor who she begs, she pleads for him to perform an exorcism, something that nobody has done in years. But he decides to do it. Now, what I think of The Exorcist is, this movie's really interesting, actually, because this is the go-to movie, right? This is the original. This is the classic. This is what everybody thinks of, me included, when you think of possession movies or a movie that has an exorcism in it. This is the one that you think of, that you go to, that you reference. And I remember being a kid, and I don't think I saw the whole thing, but I definitely watched parts of it, either on TV and whatnot, and it freaked me the fuck out. It did. I think any kid watching this, especially when they were younger, it would really, there's some disturbing stuff in there, some weird images and just creepy moments. But rewatching it now from start to finish, I will admit that there's a lot more going on here, and I can appreciate that. I enjoyed watching this actually just now. First, I want to talk about, I guess, essentially the main character, Chris McNeil, who's the mother, played by Ellen Burstyn. And I liked her because, yes, she's a mother. Yes, you can feel bad for her. You can relate to her. You can understand where she's coming from, wanting to help her daughter, and just really wanting to get to the bottom of it and figure out why this is happening. But there's a moment where, because she was good in the movie, but there was a moment where I was really sold on her acting, on her performance, just how much emotion she was showing when she was desperate, when she finally got to the Pastor Damien, and she was literally begging this guy, like, please. She was crying. She just seemed so desperate, and it felt real in that moment. Her daughter, Regan, is played by Linda Blair, and I think everybody remembers Linda Blair for this performance, right? At the beginning, you see that she's a nice, sweet girl who really wouldn't or shouldn't be doing some of the things that you see her doing later on when she does get possessed. Personally, you're watching it. For me, you're watching this and thinking, okay, well, she has to be possessed. Because not long after her possession, her skin becomes almost decayed and bruised and cut up, and she doesn't even look like herself anymore. What other explanation is there? I get that all these doctors and psychiatrists are first so quick to say that it's more of a mental breakdown and it's a problem with her brain, a chemical imbalance, and I get it. Maybe logically, scientifically, that's going to make sense, but how do you explain her skin? Or just her eyes rolling up, or the bed shaking, or her levitating. All of this stuff is like, no, there's some supernatural shit going on here. And that's where we get introduced to Jason Miller, who plays Father Damien. And I thought it was interesting because the first 15-20 minutes, I would say it was a little slow at first. A little slow. Not that I was sitting here bored or just like, hurry up and get to the possession stuff. No, I was just surprised, really, that this movie took the time to really deal with the character Damien and the backstory he had with his mother and how he was taking care of her. She was old and sick, and he was really worried about her, trying to do everything he could, but ultimately she dies. And he feels really guilty about that. He almost blames himself for not taking care of her better. And that came into play, too, later on when possessed Regan uses that on him and brings up the mother and just sort of driving him crazy over it. So all of that was set up really well. There's a lot of creepy moments. There's a lot of weird moments. Especially the moment where Regan spider walks down the stairs and then blood's coming out of her mouth. That was a pretty freaky moment. There's so many moments where I'm just sitting there and I'm just like I'm not maybe overly scared or I'm not like jumping, but I'm disturbed watching those images and watching those moments where you're generally creeped out. But when you get to the actual exorcism, that's where the movie goes up a notch. That's where the movie kind of goes full all the way for it, where you see everything. And it's gross to see the girl, Linda Blair, she's puking all over the place, and even the moments where she's cursing and saying all these dirty things, sexual things, and she's so young that it's wrong. All of it is wrong, but you're wondering whether it's going to work or whether everything, like, can this movie have a happy ending? The last thing I want to mention is the theme music. This theme is so creepy, but so in your head, like you think of it every time, and every time the movie plays it, it works. I think, especially horror films in the 70s, 80s, they really paid attention to those theme songs. Obviously, I think it's a great movie. I do. The way how it's made, the way how it's written and put together. I can't say, like, I love it or I enjoy it or it's something I'm going to watch over and over again, because it does put you in a weird mood and it's hard to watch at some points. But it's obviously a classic. It's obviously a go-to movie. It's obviously the thing that you think about when it comes to horror movies like this. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of The Exorcist? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Although I'd be surprised if you really hate it. But still, let's talk about this. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later! Please won't you say my